Well, hello everybody. This is episode 17 of FPL Top Dogs Ballyhaunis, and we have a very busy episode tonight. Now, to be honest with you guys, there's not many on tonight. Where we have a lack of members at the moment, so I'm just going to carry on and see how we get on. This week, we have two game weeks in a week. You know, we have game week 13 and 14 ahead of us. 13 on midweek and 14 on the weekend. So what I'll do, just to start things off, is I'll do the video and see how we get on. Cheers. Well, great. That's terrific. Well, it's the FPL Fantasy Football Premier League league that I have at Christy Nicholson's Pub here in Ballyhaunis, County Mayo. But that's our home league, among others. But we love everything FPL. We call the top dogs, and we have a load of members, but we're a bit short tonight. It's going to be very busy 7 days ahead for all of us, and all your positions can change overnight. Loads of people have made some great strides. First of all, I want to just go over some of the pictures for talking points that were in the video. We'll go into the episode picks. That's the, yeah. I'm fine with all that. Well, first of all, Gerald Houllier will need a special mention tonight. God bless him and rest in peace. Liverpool and Aston Villa legend, among other clubs, winning the Champions League in 2005, the famous miracle in Istanbul, FA Cup with Michael Owen in 2001 or two. Loads of history. So my condolences there, and also to Paolo Maldini, who was recognized for all his work for Italy and winning the World Cup in '82. At the recent match I was at with, I was allowed back with the 2000 Spurs fans for the 10th of December against Royal Antwerp in the Europa League, and that was a phenomenal night. I'll just go over through some of the pictures later on in the show. Fabulous to get back, but the story now is that London, Hancock, the minister, home minister, health as well. He's announced that London's going into tier 3 restrictions on Wednesday midnight. So that means all the shops, restaurants, everything closes unless you have a takeaway function. So this is devastating. That means that all the fans now all over the country, London has been getting away with it. But the increased COVID number of cases has risen exponentially. Matt Hancock has said so. So we're going back into who knows how long it's going to last. I don't think London will be free to do this 5-day amnesty for the Christmas period, where people can go about traveling. I don't know when it's going to be relieved, to be honest with you. It's going to be January, February probably. So that means that up in Liverpool, the only match with fans will be Liverpool Spurs. So that's brilliant. Spurs realized how difficult it is to play away in Crystal Palace with the fans. The fans are making a difference. As we've seen Chelsea lose recently away, and Villa winning, and loads of stuff going on. So that's about all. So where do we want to start? I'm on my own today. Yeah, let's throw up the screen anyway. Fancy Premier League reckons a few differentials. Eze, very interesting, takes all the free kicks and corners and all sorts of stuff. He very interesting prospect to compete if you want a Palace asset. Zaha is a load of obviously is obvious, but Ezra. What else do they do? Ferran Torres is touted to play against West Brom in the midweek. Mahrez, we're not sure if he's going to start. Nobody has any idea about Man City assets over the next, what have we got? Another 5-6 days. Got 2 Premier League games. No idea. Will Sterling start? Will Aguero be back? Loads of people want to lump on Aguero and take a chance on him. If you're a bit lower down in your mini leagues and FPL, people will be having to take some risks. And maybe Aguero is a route back. Ferran Torres, yes. Joe Linton, I'm not sure about this now, 0.5%. Almiron, I would prefer over him more. Rodrigo again. So I'm not sure about any of these guys. I like Caballero from Fulham. He could be interesting if you want to have a look at him. Next. Well, this week in regard to my team, I had a very, very good week. I got something like 85 points last week and about 76 this week. So I'm flying the last couple of weeks. The Villa boys have been pulling through for me. Yeah, I'm quite happy to keep the Villa. I'm trying, because we expect they've got a couple of games in hand over everybody. So I'd rather keep them in hand, and I've got a couple of good guys on the bench, and they're starters. I had Justin on the bench. I had him over Robinson. I thought Robinson and Salah would have cleaned up against Fulham, although I didn't have my Man City assets against Fulham over in the Etihad because I fancy, Fulham got a great result against Leicester 2-1, so I should have kind of known a bit. Fulham were going to frank that form a bit, so got away with Salah scoring a penalty, which he was lucky to convert. So Fulham are interesting. That young Reed guy and Caballero could be really interesting. Has a differential. For me, Phillips and more Prowls are those very low priced guys you can get in your team. Cost you very little, and they're playing regularly. Like Phillips is getting points here. And that's what you need this time of the year, because not all these guys will start. You'll get a shock bench warmer. Son could be getting benched against. I doubt it. As you can see, I'm not a great fan of having too many teams, too many players in one team. Salah, Robinson, Son, and Kane. I got 2 free transfers coming up for this game week tomorrow, so I'm going to do something about that fixture, because we have, as I mentioned in the video, Man City have West Brom, Southampton, and Newcastle in the next few games, and that's why everyone's thinking about Aguero. Jesus is too much of a risk. We don't know if he starts. Well, there's just no player in that City team you can trust apart from KDB. Maybe Garcia, will he come into the thing a bit more? But Ruben Diaz seems to be playing regularly. John Stones is back, but it's still a punt. Very, very tricky one for Chelsea. I'm not sure about Chelsea. I'm not sure about Havertz. Pulisic not played. Lampard seems to prefer Tammy. And we all think that Vermeer should be being played through the middle up front. They could be lethal there. Mason Mount is as well. He's getting a good run of games. Ziyech, good game, 15 points a few weeks ago, but he's out injured, and I think the only players to have for Chelsea, to be honest with you, the defenders. Take your pick out of James, Chilwell, and Zuma, and maybe the goalkeeper. So that's where you can be certain, but not against Wolves. I'm not sure. Chelsea probably have a run of games. They've played quite a lot of. They got West Ham away. That won't be easy. West Ham are showing good form away. Next one is Arsenal on the 26th of December. So they have a tricky run. Well, Arsenal at home, they'll want to do something after the recent woes with 6 red cards in a calendar year. It's just a disciplinary problem there, Arteta, and he's going to have to man up and do something about this. There's got to be consequences to what's happening to Arsenal season. So City are the team that everyone's gonna try and get on here. I'm a bit vulnerable with what I've done. I've got away with the Fulham result, specifically the 2-0 that City had. It could have been a cricket score. Leeds Newcastle's very interesting. There got to be a few goals on that with Wilson back. Leeds are so exciting to watch. Definitely no harm to have a couple of Leeds guys in your team, a couple of Southampton in your team. I fancy Southampton now away. Southampton are a well-drilled unit. Che Adams is scoring. Danny Ings is back. Ward-Prowse free kicks. They've got very Benderak. They've got Vestergaard. Unbelievable. Even Kyle Walker-Peters. You're starting to name off all these guys. And McCarthy in goal. That's a great, good-looking team. Leicester, no harm now to probably a route back in for people that further down the fancy Premier League. It would be Leicester and Man City, maybe Aguero and getting Vardy or Danny Ings as well. That would be a chance. Fulham and Brighton, I definitely fancy Fulham. Caballero, Reed. If you want to maybe take a chance on a differential there, somebody that's not done it for you, just get him out. Palace, and that's a massive match. I can't call that. Cresswell doing well for West Ham. Antonio's back. Hallier has been doing well. That kind of disrupted the rhythm of them recently. Palace look awesome away, and again, Gary Cahill at the back is doing a phenomenal job, and they have a lot of bite in midfield with that Schlupp, who got the equaliser the other day. Guaita had a great game for Palace. He is definitely a keeper if you're looking for somebody else that's more of a differential. Villa, I love the Villa. You could have 3 Villa in there. You can have, obviously Martinez the other day. He's just phenomenal. But look at Villa's run. Let's have a look at what our Villa are doing. They've had a bit of a tricky run. Yeah, they have Burnley, West Brom, Palace. So you can get over the Christmas period with Villa, and maybe a couple of extra games to come in the new year. Newcastle, and then they've got they've got United at home. So they have a couple of. I'm not getting rid of my Villa anyway, and if you got Grealish, I'd stick on with them and just don't panic. So the last one there, Sheffield United and Man United. So I wouldn't be surprised what happens there. Sheffield obviously desperate. Warner there is under the cosh. They're not scoring goals. They're not keeping. They're keeping goals out, but they're not scoring them. McBurney, will he come up? I have to fancy Man United for that with Fernandes. That's definitely a captain pick for you guys if you have him. I fancy Salah to score against Spurs. They're going to have the home fans there. 2,000 is the only team that will have fans back. Phenomenal. just our luck if you're a Spurs fan. So going on to the next game week. Well, obviously Spurs they go away to the Palace which saw them go 3-0 up and then draw 3-3 in that terrible season in 2014, I think it was, with Suarez and Gerrard, the slip and all that stuff. That's a reunion of that. But Palace look good, but they won't have the fans now they had against Spurs the other day. I think that made a massive difference. We'll have to see anyway. Liverpool went away to Fulham. Nothing's easy anymore. TAA's not looking back into form. He's looking a bit exposed. Nico Williams was brought on there against Fulham. TAA didn't like that, but who likes being hooked against Everton, Arsenal? See, nearly every game that could be good for Everton. You see, I don't know where Arsenal are at. I really don't. Morale must be rock bottom there. United Leeds, so United away to Sheffield and then Leeds. Again, there's going to be goals on that. So I think Fernandes will be a good dude to have now. That just could be a stick and fix captain that. I think he's probably my player of the year so far, and United are still there. They've got a game in hand. Everyone's still there. Leicester's, Southampton are there. Man City just behind. Chelsea losing the other day, which was just, I was totally 100% shocked. I thought that the fans there again made it for Everton against Chelsea. You could just see the effect that the home fans have had against Chelsea. Chelsea just seemed to be more intimidated by what was going on there. So again, we'll get markers to see how important them fans are, because we're just going to have to see. So so where we are, so Man United have left there. That's just gone a bit too far on, but again, I'd be considering. I've got a couple of Southampton there, and I'm transferring in maybe a couple of Man City. So I'll have 4 in that fixture. I don't like that. Just gonna have to weigh up everything. That's just a note. Chelsea, West Ham. Wow, so they've some really interesting fixtures. Chelsea, I'm not too sure. Do they have who they have after that? Arsenal. Let's have a little quick look at see Chelsea's run, I suppose. Maybe later, but it's pretty tricky with Arsenal after that. You never know in Derby because their form goes out the window. And Chelsea after that, Villa. And Villa are no joke away from home. So I'll still have to see how the Villa or the Chelsea defense get on there. So I don't have much in the line as the other top dogs. Some of them are sick, some have the flu, some have got work, some it's just one of those days. I'm on my own. Right. I want to mention, obviously, with the young John Joe Patrick Finn, and obviously he's playing for Getafe, his club there. Obviously Getafe are having a terrible time of it the last while. They are only 2 points from the bottom of the table. That's maybe the table here. Incidentally, Real Sociedad are top, and they're playing Manchester United. It's Man United in the Champions League, and that's David Silva, Genuai, the guy that used to play for United, and Monreal from Arsenal. So they've got an interesting team, and they are well in form there. They're flying. So that's an interesting match for United in the Europa coming. Spurs have got Wolfensburg. So there, Getafe, 13 points, only 2 from the bottom, and the form is not looking good for young John Joe's team. So yeah, John Joe did come on for Getafe late on again, so he's chipping away. It's just John Joe Patrick Finn watch. I'm definitely going to know if he scores. So as you can see, he's just been put on there. So he's getting a run out every other. Came in as an 84th minute sub. Yeah, that was his first. So I'll just keep an eye out for this young buck. Any images come up? Here we go. Got loads of images of young John Joe, and I've got plenty myself when he was younger. So whoever he declares for, it's fine with me. He's one of our own, no matter what. So here's the fixtures for the Champions League. Thank God we can put everything away and concentrate on FPL until the 16th of February. Leipzig versus Liverpool. Hasenhüttl's former team. There's a possibility he is being touted for Dortmund. So let's see what happens there. Very interesting, Leipzig. United bet them 5-0, but then they bet United, and then they bet Spurs twice, aggregate 4-0. Last season's Champions League. So they're no joke and no pushover there. Tricky for Liverpool. They'll need every game. Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, Porto, Juventus, Seville, Dortmund, Lazio, Bayern. I'm only seeing these for the first time. Mönchengladbach, Borussia Mönchengladbach versus City. Interesting. Atlanta, Real Madrid. So that's all we have. We have 3 teams. Chelsea with Atletico. Presume that's Atletico Madrid, Simeone. So just 3 in the pot after United. The Europa League. That's a Tottenham v Wolfsburg. Dynamo, United, Real Sociedad, tricky. Benfica, Arsenal, tricky. Although Arsenal are going great guns in the Europa League this year. 18 out of 18 points. But there you go. Rangers doing very well, unbeaten all year. Royal Antwerp will be tricky. Royal Antwerp, as I've seen, their passing games, pass. All their work seems to be down the wings. They like to hold on to the ball. So I'm really impressed with Antwerp, and the Bale free kick, as I'll show later on. He's really caught the keeper. He did the best he could, but it was just too good for him, that kick. And it was just something I think Spurs got out of that one. Gareth that night was, apart from that in the first half, he's still kind of very ginger around the pitch and watching himself and making sure he don't get a massive injury. It just seems that he's there. He's still a few weeks away from full, maybe, I think he's probably another month, to be honest, another 4 weeks, but he'll be needed over the Christmas period for Tottenham. Trust me, he'll be getting some FPL time, along with Dele Alli, I hope. So nobody else there. Leicester are against Slava Prague. And there you go. That's about all I want to say there. So we have to mention something about Mayo versus Dublin, who are going for the 6th in the row. Can we stop them? Last year, Kerry couldn't. I'm just glad it wasn't down to Mayo to stop that 5 in a row, but we've given them 2 anyway, and Donegal as well. So, yeah, this is just an article in Irish Examiner, that recent fixtures between this 2 have been very, very close. Only a point in it. Mayo had obviously All Ireland a chance. The last gasp, point there. 2016, the replay, Dublin won by a point, so it can be quite, So I'm not sure what to expect this year. As everybody knows, the Gypsy Curse with Mayo, 1951. Whether or not how many hearses were passed that day in the All Ireland winning year, whether no Mayo fan will ever see an All Ireland, or nobody will be alive from the squad that won the All Ireland in 51 until they all pass away. These are all legends and all gypsy curse. Next Sunday or Saturday, whenever the match is on, we'll see for a fact that there's no fans it will be allowed at Croke Park, and it's a final in December, which Mayo play all their best club football between November and December, when we're catching up from a semi-final or final appearance in the All Ireland in those years that we've been there. You know, those 13-6s. So we're kind of well used to playing good football in December and in the winter. And, you know, on the day, we don't know. Well, who knows? Well, all I'm saying is that no fans, football in December, and whether those poor people, the poor players and squad players of 51 are still alive, I'm not sure. But we'll know for sure. Is it the Mayo fans that have been stopping Mayo from winning the All Ireland? Has it the Gypsy curse? Will Mayo finally go on to win something? The COVID All Ireland. Well, I hope the rot ends somewhere anyway. And let's see who emerges on the day. So it's something to look forward to. I thought I'd mention it. So the Christy Nicholson Premier League, Fantasy League. As we can see, Joey Neenan just found a way to crawl past Mark Oracle Phillips from last game week. He was leading it last week. And as I say in my video, that Joey, the commando, he just in time, just arrived in time for Joey to top the league. And it's just by a point. Phenomenal. You know, the Oracle's really upset about that. He definitely likes the limelight, or Mark, and I'm sure that's going to be to-ing and fro-ing over the next few days. Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. It's going to be helter skelter for the next month. We're going to have like 8 game weeks. And we're going to be on 13 and 14 by the end of this weekend. So everyone needs to be thinking about 15 and especially 16 and get in position to make sure you've got a good game week and get the guys you need in for the fixtures of game week 16, because that round will determine who's in the cup for game week 17. It's a bit of fun. It's a bit of crack. Get in the cup. Make sure you're in the top 3 or 4 million, whatever it is, AWOL 7. And you can come up against all sorts of people. There was somebody from the Falkland Islands in it one year that I noticed, and all sorts of places across. I couldn't believe what I've seen. So it's an interesting bit of crack, but the league is the main thing, as we know. This week, a special mention to Stephen Stratford Nolan. Sympathies over the last week, you know, God bless, but he's had a terrific, he's been the best player in the Christy Nicholson League, 82 points. He deserves a mention there. Phenomenal. I am really worried about Stephen's team. I think it's the only one that's got the jip over me, and he's going for the City defense there, and that could be the way to go. Obviously, I mentioned about Cancelaro a while back, and also the Diaz. Think maybe the City defense could be the best value, because we're not quite sure which will start apart from KDB. I don't know what's going on with Foden. Foden's not starting. He's great value. You could feel a Manchester boy like him against the Derby. He would have lit up that board draw. No offense to Manchester City United. They both could not afford to lose it, they felt. So an amicable draw, if I can get that word out, a 0-0 between Pep and Ollie, and that's the way we're going to leave it. So you mean Madison's just fired. So as you can see, the massive amount of points, it was looking a good game week, and then bang, Leicester's 3 goals. It could have been more in the second half, but they just took it down a notch, and there's no need to risk any further injuries or, you know, very clever stuff from, you know, Brendan Rodgers. So obviously Jota came in, somebody came in for Jota anyway, who Adams came in and gave him a few points. So Adams is a great guy to have on the bench. I you know, if he's a good option to Danny Ings. If you can't afford Danny, you know, Adams is well in there. Lewin is just standard, amazing numbers all year. He was going for 10 goals in a row. Everton coming to a tricky run now. Leicester look really good now. As you can see, his numbers are consistent, but I'm not so sure about Everton in the next few weeks. I have to think about what to do myself. So that's Stephen Stress. Where is he in the world? He's climbing the rankings anyway. 82,818 in the world. So that's just the kind of standard you have in this league. You know, we've got some terrific players, like, you know, as you Joey now. What's Joey Neenan doing? Really happy to have Joey, the commander, as we say, in the league, because he finds a way to do it. He finds all sorts of military techniques and espionage and inside information and all sorts of stuff to get that guy 60, just under 68,000 in the world. So 772 points. I just want to go back to the league again. 772. So like, I've made some massive ground myself. 63 points off Joy, right? And like, the story here is 63 points off Joy, and I'm 756,000. The other day when I looked at it, I was just under the million. So it just goes to show, like, the between 60,000 and 756,000, there's a massive group of people all funneled within 65 points. You know, I'm really relieved I didn't use all my chips. I still got my 3 chips. I'm just really relieved I got away from that Manchester City Fulham match. I was debating 50-50 to do that. So lucky I didn't. Yeah, just going back there. So so the Oracle is a little bit down. Justin killed him the other day. Let's go into Dave McNamara. Absolutely perennial and consistent. Great number, 72 points, 147,000. That's so respectable. I had Justin on the bench, fair enough. What can you do? I had Konsa and Andy Robertson. I thought Robertson was going to kill it. I thought he'd get a clean sheet, but that's just what you do. At least I have him. He's going to be solid now. So, you know, he has been coming for the last few weeks to, you know, assist wise and stuff. I have been watching him, but I took a chance there. Yeah, so Joey Neenan there with Vardy, you know, really look at those points that came back. You know, the Oracle or Mark would have been head and shoulders first place if it wasn't. Jota came on again. Walker Peters came on, gave Joey 6 points. Seriously, that's what calling the commander. He gets points from nowhere. All of a sudden, bang! The last game week, the last game of game week 12 on Sunday, Leicester, and bang! And all of a sudden, the whole picture of everything changes again. He's got Gabriel, and William has got a word to say about Gabriel. As we say, what we're talking about, William Nestor, he's got a green arrow this week, 69 points. It was looking absolutely 632. So, you know, as we can see, you know, is Captain Vardy and Madison, and a lovely bang, 42 points, just like that. Apart from that, he was looking like he was going to get slaughtered, and it was game over. Asher, I'll play just for fun. 27 points, and then bang, the last game week. So, we were happy. The hitman, that's what the hitman does. But he's going to do something else. He's told us, but we've gone undercover for a while, so we have to give everyone a chance to go under the radar and see where we would be by Christmas. Well, January the 16th is an important date for me. That's when I'm considering Werner back and a few of the Chelsea, because Chelsea going through a hard run now. So that's a hint. Look at January the 16th. That's going to be epic. So if I can crawl until there, fine. Coiner, obviously 47. He'll be devastated with that. He's been flying high, but he's still top 5, but only 18 points behind. I'm behind him. So, I was like 80 odd, 90 points at one. I was really well behind at one stage. Snowman limps with a 51. He won't be happy with that. 2019 winner. He's out celebrating his exam results. So congratulations. He's not here for us tonight, but Salah just came back with something. It's not kind of worked out. I'm not sure about these Wolves guys. Seriously, if you've got Wolves, you have to consider they're not scoring a lot. They're conceding a little bit, touch now and again. Neto is interesting. Podence is interesting. Christy's took a punt on Silva. He should have scored. The other hit the post, I think. So I'm not sure. Raul is just going to come back sooner or later. I'm not sure about Wolves whatsoever. I'll have to watch them for a few game weeks to even consider if Raul comes back and kills it. Am I going to get rid of Bamford, Kane, or GCL for that? I'm not sure. Aiden Fitz is who came second in last year's Christie. Really, I'm really frightened about Aiden's team. We've nicknamed it the ghost team. When he's not on it, the team kills it. It absolutely kills the points. Look at this. He's on the Martinez, dies. I think the Man City defender is definitely something that we've got to consider. I am anyway. Justin, phenomenal. Can you imagine? Oh, that's what happened. So he's captain Jota and Justin's come in to score. Wow, this is just whether Aiden let his team go and that happened, I don't know, right? I'm 50-50, but he's got a fantastic midfield, as everybody wants that. Mahrez, Jota, where we think he's going to be out for quite an extended. We're not quite sure. He's gone for a couple of months anyway. It's a shame, so he don't want to transfer in, but his team is fantastic. Really, he's got no Chelsea there. He got one Chelsea, but yeah, he's got a bit of everything there, our Ado, and I think he's going to be our dark horse for the Christy Nicholson this year, along with Stephen Strat. They're really, I think Ado wants to win this. I feel a bit guilty winning it last year, with that Sterling ploy that I did. I got in Sterling and neutralized his advantage. And he didn't see I got him in, you see. So Morgan Lyons, a bit of a mention. 707 is a terrific point score. How many games? We've got 12 game weeks gone and 707. So that's averaging, I don't know. It's 707, 70 points. 707. So it's about, you're averaging about 65 points for 12 games, something around 60, 65. I've always said between 50, 55, and you get that 2,000 average over 38 games. People seem to be averaging more this year in the FPL. A lot more serious thoughts and people gone into this. There's people going on packages and professional stuff and all that. I don't do any of it. I just want to do it hither and thither. I want to do it the way I want to do it. And the same as everyone else in our Fantasy League Top Dogs Ballyhaunis. Morgan, has you got anybody? So Rodriguez out. Gabrielle's in. Not sure about Gabrielle, as William would say. She's a better singer. Vardy and Justin, again, absolutely killed it this week. And in all fairness, anyone who has them players over the last 2 or 3 week game, they deserve that little boost. They deserve it without doubt. Fulham, beating Leicester the other few game weeks, other results. I think if your faith should be rewarded, that's all I'm saying. So good luck. Foden on the bench. There's not a lot on the bench. I think he needs to do something this week, unless whatever transfers he's got. He's not much in the bank, only 0.1. So that's Morgan. Yeah, Sean Gilday is getting loads of green flag. This is phenomenal. Like Sean was about 25, even worse. And look, he's flying up the league. 65 points. He's made the top 10. Just drafted himself and Kevin Guru Killer Kilbriden. And so Sean Sniper Gilday. So yeah, Martinez is gone for the Chelsea thing, which that will be interesting over the next few game weeks how they perform. Souček on the bench will be good about that, but what can you do? Tricky conundrum. Would you have put Bamford on the bench? He's only lost 4 points if he's put. That's the way I look at it. If you got 9 points on the bench, never think it's 9. Like I had Robertson on the. He got 2 points. Justin's got 11. I have him on the bench. So I've lost 9 points. That's the way I look at it. But it's not the end of the world. He could have probably Lewis maybe. Maybe the best thing to do is just if you're definitely going to play a guy like Souček, which I advise anybody to, if you have him, play him. He's just scoring. Get rid of someone in defense or on your striker to make that decision a lot easier to go with your a 4-man midfield or for a 3-man strike force. Make it an easier decision to get somebody that's okay that will play every game. Like Anguissa, yeah, fine, but coming off the bench, to have someone coming off the bench, because we're going to have loads of shock benches and out of the squad dudes. The next one, Donald O'Brien, native tip lad. He won't like the Mayo result the other day in the football. That was a killer. He's a perennial favorite in our Christy Nicholson. He's doing it for years. Talented hurler, and here he's got a pretty good team as well. And Vardy's come through in major style. So all these teams are fine. So whatever team you have at the minute, you've got to work out what you got for the next week or two and the game weeks I've mentioned so far. So that's about that and that. Let's pop over to the King of the Travelers. I don't go into the Kirk Clap so much because it's just basically whoever finishes fourth in the Christy Nicholson that's in the Kirk Clap. So as you can see, the average is killing it this year. When I looked at a few days ago, the average was second. But Joey's having a very good. If I lose and he wins, he goes tops because of the points difference there. He's well ahead of me there. But as you can see, I'm 63 points behind him, and there's like 700,000 people between me and him. And don't get me wrong, I'm going for Joy and I'm going for Mark the Oracle. I'm going for everybody. Over the last few game weeks, I've made so much strides. It's phenomenal. But I want to keep it that way, and the only way I can do it is if I cover City and West Brom, in the midweek. I have to come up with something. I've just been too busy with this episode and having a rundown on things. And as you can see, it's very interesting. There's not much of anything in anything. 9 wins, 3 defeats, 1 to the Guru Killer. I know the -24. I would have been probably, that -24 might come back to haunt me in the King of the Travelers. And Christy, he drew a match with the average, maybe with the average, I don't know. But there's anybody can still win this thing. It's a bit of interest, and there's a trophy and prize money at the end of it. Let's have a look at Ahamore. I'm always interested to see what's going on in Ahamore. Obviously, Keith Casti now has just popped down a little bit. Obviously, Daryl Hunt has had a stormer here. Their hunts come into the frame of things. 112,000. So at the minute, our league, the Christie, is by comparing it, is there's more in the top 100,000 in ours at the minute. Martinez, Justin, you can nearly name who's Vardy, okay, so Salah, so really good. I like Mings. If I didn't have Konsa, I'd have Mings. I want Martinez, Mings, and maybe Grealish would be with the game weeks in hand. Grealish is a streaky player, it seems. He is the heartbeat, but if he's being focused on and hunted, he is streaky, 15s and 10s and bits and pieces. When he cuts loose, So I'm still not sure. I'm more of a fan of the Villa defense at the minute. Watkins is interesting to think about, and so is McGinn. So yeah, this is Dazzler's Angels or our more lads. Yeah, so Keith goes down a bit. Fergal's he stormed back a bit. There's nothing in this league. Yeah, Mark Byrne. There's loads of more 4 footballers now. We've been having a look at Fergal Boland's team for a while now, so he's still back in the hunt. He's played a free hit now. Right. Sissoko and the free hit. Wow, that's interesting. Against Palace. I don't mind Ward Prowse, what he's done there. Okay, he's got the points. He's got the points in the bags there. Again, I'm not a fan of the Fulham, but Suzuma, yeah, fair play. It's okay. Vardy, Kane, obvious, Son. But these guys, their percentage ownership is just through the roof. If you have them already, fine. 41, I think Son he was 60 and he's still 60%. So these guys, you're not going to make most of the guys as I said, in the top million will have these two. Fact. And Salah now, loads have gone. He was only like about 20%, 22%. Over the course of a week, everyone got him in last game week. Some people transferred, made some transfers to get him in over Fulham, and didn't quite pay off as Fulham franked their form from against Leicester City, and then Manchester City, and then that Liverpool match, unbelievable, 1-1. So that's Phillips and Davis, they're not playing, and Jota's that's a free hit. So he's probably transferred out, didn't he? Sissoko's come in, so he was expecting Jota to play, but Sissoko has come in so to make that. Maybe if we go back a previous game week, we'll get an idea who he has to come back for this game week. Doesn't previous, that's what we want. Game week 11 for Fergal. It's an interesting just guy to keep an eye on that. So he'll go back to Walker Peters, fine. Schmeichel, he'll have Laporte, didn't play. Maybe he's got out of a tricky game week for him and put off a decision rather than making a few -4s or -8s or -12s, because now he's in trouble here. I can see why he played his wild card there. Foden, Laporte, I don't know what's happened to Foden. It's a disaster for the Manchester lad himself. Not getting any game time, and Pep doesn't fancy him. But he's got a few bits and pieces. Mane you have to get rid of Mane. 8.6 for Salah. That should have happened a couple of weeks ago. So I think I don't think the transfers carry on when you do a free hit. I think you'd still use, you go in with the transfers that you went into the chip with. So maybe if you've had 2 transfers before you played your free hit or whatever it was, you get them still at the end. Whatever you carry going in, you get at the whatever. So just depends, if you can get a couple. You might have to do some real twigging, or whether, I don't know, maybe Foden will start, but Jota's injured, so there's a bit of doctrine going on, and Jorginho is up and down, and these two aren't starting. So an awful lot, there's a lot of people now, I've noticed they're going to be limping to the January free wildcard. I looking at my team over the last few weeks, I've been trying to do bits and pieces. I know I did the -24, but that was I've made a massive mistake. I've got to recorrect it. I've recorrected it. And now I've got a team where I'm really confident that these guys are going to play. I got people coming off the bench. Johnson will even come off the bench. And compared to, Boland will have to do an awful lot of doctrine. You don't get a chip to play every game week. So that's about that in what I want to mention there. So let's go back to the league. So I said all I want to really say about the league this week. Really, my advice to everybody is to assess your team and to see what you need going forward. What's best for your team now. You're going to face something like 6-7 matches. We'll just count it out here. You're going to face 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. Well, definitely 5 game weeks where you won't have access to that wild card. So this is a lot of people are going to go limping, and some of them will play their free hits or their whatever chip they have. But I'm happy that all these guys play, and that's the whole purpose, is that I'm going to have stuff come off the bench. So it's hard. It's easy to say game plan. It's easy, but you do everything for the benefit of your team, and have a look at the fixtures a few games ahead, 4 or 5, the long view, as they say. This year, I want to mention 3 players that have been a total disaster. I was going to put Salah in it, but he's starting to do a bit, so I'm leaving him out. But he's in the top 6 of it, so well, maybe not. We'll have to see. Mane's fallen off a cliff. What's going on with Mane. Jota's been taking his points. But for me, Raheem Sterling's been a disaster in the FPL. We're just like, he's done nothing. He's cost an awful lot of money, and he's in and out of that team. If we go just down to the star man, I know that Adrian has, I know he's got Sterling in his team, and he captained him the other week as well. So he's stuck with the same dude, but he's got a lot of messing and toing and froing to do with that team. And Werner is definitely one I would want to mention, but Sterling for me would be in my top 3 of flops. There's nothing consistent there. Really, it's disaster. How much is he still? He's 11.4. So for me, if you're thinking about maybe getting rid of Salah or Mane for this week to knock in for WBA, he's good because you won't be losing any money. If you get KDB in, then you're losing money. But whether he starts or not, I don't know. It's just he's rested from here, 18 minutes there. Maybe who knows what Pep will do to him now, not blanking in the Manchester derby. For me, Mason Greenwood is definitely in the top 3 as well. Total, whatever's happened to that lad, I have just no idea what's going on. Total, just can't understand. Where his form has gone, and he's come back playing well again. So he's getting some more starts, but I predicted him to be like the player to have in all your teams, and I didn't get him in because there was no game week for Manchester United, but I was always planning to get him in. Foden is obviously not through his own fault, but he's not getting the game time, so there are a few letdowns that I want to definitely mention. And also in my top 3 is Dele Alli number 1. God, did I get Dele Alli wrong? I had him in the start for a couple of game weeks. Wow. I didn't realize that he'd get a temper and in and out of the team, and Jose now doesn't raise him so much. He'll only get limited game time. Against Royal Antwerp, he didn't come on in the list of 5 subs, and he stormed down the tunnel. So we have no idea. He will play. It's just some players are getting no game out of the squad and 15 minutes, whereas Bale is getting like an hour, and then out the next game Premier League. So there's a kind of definite role to Mourinho is a minute manager, and at the moment Dele's in that, you know, nowhere to 15-minute category. So for me, it's Dele, Ali, Mason Greenwood, and Raheem Sterling. But then again, I could get Sterling in. I have to do something for WBA, and I will do it. Promise you. So as I promised at the end of this video, I just want to go through some pictures of our game. Now it looks like, actually, I just get up the goal for Bale. It looks like that we won't get any more fans in London now for a few months again. The last time I was at a Spurs game was the 4th of March 2020 against Norwich. This is the Norwich in the FA Cup, where we lost in penalties after a 1-1 draw, and that was memorable. I'll never forget it, because of the last game I attended until the 10th of December 2020. So it's been a long road, and it's going to get longer now with the London entering Tier 3. So anyway, this is me at the stadium. Just a few pictures inside there, and the concourses you can see, or food and drink. You could only get a pint of beer with a burger, or food with food. The marketplace, me down the bottom of the stand there. This is the south stand. This is the famous wall. It's also known as the cock end, and that's because of the golden cock and top of the stadium. It's been moved from the west stand. So some nice images there. It's great to get back. Yeah, looking good there. Happy. There's loads of pics. Nice to get back in the shirt. Joe Hart there. Bale. Guys, they're the guys training up there. It's just great to get back. I'm kind of wearing a top here. It's a kind of t-shirt variety of the training gear. Okay. Maybe go down a bit further. Yeah, there's just a lot of pictures there, just to give you an example. Obviously, I want to show this is Giovanni Lo Celso was by far man of the match. By his energy, his dynamism, phenomenal. Celebrating to the crowd. So we already had Arsenal the other day in the 2-0. So they didn't come all the way over to the fans. I noticed, but I'm sure they did for the. Just more Giovanni there with the second goal. Royal Antwerp played really well, I have to admit. So that's just the empty stadium, and that just gives you a sense, of the emptiness of it in the 2-0. That's at the end. But this is the match against Norwich. You can just get a sense of how these are just some of the videos, actually. I just want to get through to this is an example of the crack there against Norwich. It's as you can see, jam-packed. Missed those days against Norwich. Full house. Nice to get back to those days. And anybody else around the country that's got their club and fans. Yeah, that's that. That's that. There's not really an awful lot to. I've kind of gone through nearly everything, I think. I'm just looking for that goal, if I can find it. No. Not sure where that's. I think I've got it under. I think in this I've got it under Bale. Yeah, Bale free. That's it. Okay, that's enough of my yeah, bail. Yeah, well, well, yeah, 1-0 the Tottenham, and Vince would score the first goal that I saw going back to White Hart Lane. Vinicius, the Portuguese dude. So, what can I say? That's about it. I hope you've enjoyed this stint with me on my own. A lot of the guys, that work and so busy time of the year, and I've finished work, at 3, so I can mess about. So I think that's about all I can say about that. Sometimes the guys, it's nice to get a one-on-one with the guru and to get a one-on-one about the whole days. It's just nice for some of the guys to sit back and see a show rather than be the show. Do you know what I mean? So, guys, I wish you all the best in whatever league you are. I want to wish Mayo all the best. Can we get rid of this gypsy curse? Can we stop Dublin the 6 in a row? So there's an awful lot now to go on for next week. We'll have another episode 18 after the game week, the weekend games after game week 14. We'll have a reaction over everything, and hopefully we'll have the guys coming back reinvigorated and enthusiastic. So wish you all the best, folks, and God bless, and take care.